I will begin again. So hello, everyone. You are watching the Asian American Herald, a new media network featuring the Asian Americans in the Capital Region of New York. You can also watch a recording of this show from our Facebook page, Asian American Herald of Capital District. My name is Himani Gupta Carlson, and I am a local farmer, writer, and professor of historical studies at Empire State College in Saratoga Springs. Tonight, our show offers a look at faith and worship in some of our Asian American communities in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our guests include representatives from a Hindu temple, a Sikh Gurdwara, Muslim mosque, and a church that draws many Indian, Pakistani, and other Asian congregants. Nirja Agena, Dr. Mani Gujral, Mr. Gayan Singh, Abdul Sattar, and Pastor Randy Anson, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me
with you.
Yeah. So before we get started, just a few requests. If you're tuning in live, please feel free to submit any questions via the chat box. Ashok Adhikopala will be monitoring the chat, and we will address your questions at the end of the show if time permits. Please also mute your mics if they are not already muted. Guests too, if you can mute your mics when you are not speaking, that would be helpful. So Asian Americans are quite diverse as a community with many ethnicities represented, languages spoken, and religious practices observed. And that diversity is particularly noticeable in the number of different forms of worship and houses of faith in the capital region. So with that in mind, I'd actually like to start by asking each of you to take a minute to introduce yourselves a little more and tell our viewers a little bit about the churches, temples, gurdwaras, and mosques you represent. Where are your houses of worship located? Who are your main congregants? And what is your position within the organizations you represent? So Nirja, would you like to begin?
Sure. Namaste again. Thank you so much for inviting me to this. This is a beautiful program through which we can actually tell you what we have been doing from our organization. I'm Nirja Alena, the religious chair for the Albany Hindu Temple, which is located in Loudonville, New York. Our temple was founded in 1976, so it's almost about 45 years ago. It is a place of worship by Hindu devotees in and around the Capital District, and of course also the visitors from our other areas and other parts of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Nirja. So Mr. Gujral or Dr. Gujral and Mr. Singh, would you like to say a little bit about the Gurdwara?
Sure. I'm Dr. Mani Gujral. I'm the Chairman Board of Directors of Sikh Association of Capital District, and we've had the Capital Gurdwara in Rensselaer now, and it was in East Greenbush since 1982.
Oh.
And we serve the Capital District for the Sikh community, and our congregants are mainly the Sikh members of Sikh faith who live in this community. And with me is Bhai Gyan Singh, and he's the head priest of the Gurdwara, and he's been associated with the Gurdwara for almost ever since it was initiated in late 80s.
Okay. Thank you. And Mr. Sattar, would you like to tell us a little bit about the mosque?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be among all of you. My name is Abdul Sattar. I am associated with all of the Muslim communities, not just specifically one Muslim community that is located in Central Avenue, but that's what I was basically most involved. But I'm involved in all the Capital District Muslim community. So anybody has need, anybody want to have something, or they are sick or something like this, I'm available for them. I've been located in Albany, New York since, believe it or not, since 1983.
Wow.
Yes, but there was only one mosque back then was ICCD, that's it. Today, alhamdulillah, we have over 8 mosques out on the Capital District.
Wow, that's really impressive. I was not aware of such a presence of not I was aware of the temple, the Hindu temple, but I wasn't aware of the mosques and the gurdwara. So that's very impressive. Thank you. So Pastor Randy, tell us a little bit about your congregation and the kind of the Asian American group in it.
Yeah, the name of our church is Life for the Nations Church, and it's located at 477 Crumbkill Road, Albany, New York. Basically, we're made up of Indian, as you mentioned, Indian, Pakistani, Americans, and people who travel. There's just so many other countries. If I start to name that are represented that are in smaller numbers, but those are two of the larger groups of people that are there. We're what would be called in Christian circles a full gospel church or Pentecostal church. It's a fun bunch of people. They just love to be together. They love it that the world's represented there, and I make statements to them like this, a neat thing about us is all the languages that we speak, the 9 or 11 languages that are spoken there, Telugu and Tamil are two of the more popular Indian languages, and Hindi. But nonetheless, Jesus never spoke a word in any of our languages, including English and Spanish. So it's kind of neat. It's worked well. And we're just a happy bunch of people. Oh, we also have a cricket field that's readily used.
Yes, and at some point, Ashok is going to have to be our guest and tell us all about cricket in the Capital District, because I'm understanding that he's quite a fan.
Well, cricket's a big sport in the Albany area, and headed towards New York. New York City is huge, but you'd be amazed how popular it is here.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'd like to actually direct my next question first to Mr. Sattar. As we know, this is the month of Ramadan, which is a month of fasting for Muslims, as well as an important time in the Muslim community for community gatherings. So with the prohibitions that are in place right now on large public gatherings, how is your mosque and how is your membership holding up? Because I know this is, it's a challenging period for everybody, but I'm curious to see if it's particularly challenging for Muslims who are taking part in Ramadan.
Once again, Assalamu alaikum. Our community, our leadership, the imams, the presidents, the leaders all got together when this thing started the first time. And the first thing, believe it or not, they did was close the masjid. Because in Islam, when you're ill and you're sick, you're not supposed to be going closer to other people to make other person sick. So there was Imam Sheikh Yasin from Latham Mosque, Al Hidayat Center. He gave the video. I shared the video with Facebook to everybody else. But we cannot reach to, we still reaching to them every Friday. SubhanAllah, every Friday, some brother comes up with, like the last time, this brother came up with 9 lambs, 10 lambs, I'm sorry. And we cut it to pieces, and we know the refugees all around the Capital District, where I personally know needed people. And we cut it to pieces. We put like 5 pounds, 6 pounds in each bags with a loaf of bread and dates, 1 bag of dates. Put them all together with the schedule of the Ramadan, what time they start, what time the sunrise, what time the sun sets. And we give it to each family. This last time we actually served about 58 family. The time before that, it was also lamb. The brother participate, the community participate, the money, and handle the responsibility over to me. And God have given me enough wealth. Ramadan is not about, Ramadan is a very special thing. It is about giving. So this Ramadan, especially this Ramadan, we're supposed to give it, every Ramadan we're supposed to give it to our neighbors. This is very important, Ramadan. We need to go, I myself, remind myself first, I need to go out first, seek people, talk to the people. If you need something, they have children. I know some family approached me a couple of times, they SNAP program that they have, I guess. They said the SNAP does not go through 9 of this month. So I go to their house, bring them groceries. I know some elderly people. One Pacific person that I brought a grocery over to her. And believe me, when I see it, my heart breaks. She was an older woman, and she just raised her hand. She said, Jesus, Jesus bless you. I says, Amen, Amen, Amen. So I brought the grocery over to her, put it down, and she insists that I will take something. I said to her, no, I don't do this for money. I do this for blessing. She goes, Jesus bless you. I said, thank you. She looked at me. She goes, what religion are you, if you don't mind? I said, not at all. I'm Muslim. I'm proud to be Muslim. I'm Muslim. And she said, you have to take something with you. I said, I don't want to do it. So she forced me anyway, make a long story short, she gave me the 2 5-gallon of sprinkled water, sealed ones. She goes, could you please take this with you? So I do see a lot of people in the capital, especially the capital district. There's old people. They have no transportation. Transportation business is down, actually. I myself was in the transportation business before 10 years ago, I was in transportation business. Now transportation business is down. The taxi business is down. The Uber Lyft is down. Everything is down. So what is a Muslim is our responsibility that we reach up to the entire capital district, especially our neighbors.
Okay, thank you very much. So at the Gurdwara, that is also, I know, a very important space for gathering. And I'm wondering, how has this been impacted with the COVID-19 outbreak, and how are your members holding up?
Well, I'm a frontline healthcare worker too. So we closed our Gurdwara down on March 15th, and it's been closed ever since for any gatherings. And we did not encourage, or we said if somebody wants to come to pay their respects on an individual basis, they could. And also, the congregants have been very appreciative, and they've been able to do this. But on April 14th was our biggest celebration of the Sikh, the Baisakhi, which is the foundation day of our religion, the Khalsa. So that was difficult. So we actually then did a Facebook, our Paisab did the Kirtan, and we did Facebook Live on the Baisakhi day for the congregants to see. And we tried to do something so that they're able to come, virtually come to the Gurdwara. And it's because it's a part of our mesh, and we are totally integrated with that. And also, from the Gurdwara viewpoint for the Baisakhi, we have the parade in New York City, and we distribute food and all that. So I actually did some. We gave food to the frontline healthcare workers in Albany Med and at St. Peter's Hospital, where I go, and just because it was Baisakhi and also what's going on, so I said, we have to do something, and those are the people we chose, and we brought food for them.
Okay, awesome. And thank you very much also for your service, for being on the front line. I just think that's must be an especially difficult position to be in. So thank you for that. And thank you also, Mr. Sathur. I believe you're also on the front line. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And the way I actually not in the front line the way the doctor is. I'm in the front line by bringing food to the people's house. So you really don't know when you walk into the family's house. But we are precautious. We wear our mask. We wear our gloves. We do our best as we possibly can to protect ourselves first, and then the communities. But our mosques are open. All the mosques are open, but they're only limited people. Only 5-6 people that is belong to each mosque. They come in, they 5 times prayers, they lead the prayers, and they open the mosque for 5 times. All the mosques are open. They're not they're closed to public.
Great. So Pastor Randy, you talked about all the good times that your congregants have together. And what's going on now since the gatherings are prohibited?
He didn't unmute it.
Yeah, you need to, Pastor Randy, can you unmute your mic?
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's been a unique experience. We have a YouTube channel and we link off from Facebook. I prefer not to just go Facebook. So we have our own YouTube channel and link over if people are on Facebook so they can get over there. We do a Sunday service that's pre-recorded. Then we do a Wednesday evening. You can get it starting 6 a.m., a 10-minute devotional. A lot of our people are Zoom prayer meetings or prayer calls where there'll be, I don't know, a mass number of them. Just being able to pray together. We certainly are relational, and just by their backgrounds, the Indian people are relational people too, and so we've tried all kinds of ways to connect people. There's a continual network that's going on with texting and with phone calls, but those who can are doing Zoom or whatever they can to connect and get to see one another. I think there is there's a great loss in not being able to corporately worship together. I'm sure some of you understand that. When it comes to the parts of feeding people, I've been involved. I've dropped off a few boxes myself, but usually there's 2 others that are doing that. Usually we don't deliver. We feed people year round, but they come and pick it up. Sent there either through the government agencies or however they find out about us. But we've been delivering because there's just so many needs. I think someone mentioned that many of the elderly can't get out, so we've been delivering too. Now I think that eventually some of the changes that you see, some of them are going to stay. I know we've always had our services on YouTube, but now we're going to look to tie more and more people in with YouTube, or some form, Facebook, whatever you want to use. People like to connect, and we're going to continue to use that at a different level than we have in the past.
Okay.
It's a precarious time. I think there was a lot of fear in the beginning of this, and it seemed, at least in my lifetime, I'm 64. Never has America done anything like this. Never even come close to this. So I think when it happened, it caused a great deal of concern or fear because people never saw anything like this. And we've never, I noticed people had different perspectives, but for many Americans, it's very hard to fall in line. But I guess we're all like sheep in one way because I see everybody wearing masks and everybody social distancing, that kind of thing. So there's been a great adjustment to not be able to have worship services, and we look forward to being together again soon. I'm just trusting that the numbers will continue to go down, and sometime here, probably by June, mid-June, all of us will be able to gather. It has to be a disappointment for you folks too.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nirja, tell me about the temple and how people are coping in the Hindu community with the social distancing and not being able to come together?
Yes, I mean, just like all the others said, we have the same issue, right? So during these challenging times, keeping the public health and safety in mind, we have closed our temple for public. But that's when we started our live streaming of various religious activities and various religious services through our knowledgeable and able priests, and we are able to reach to our community members through that. So in fact, we live stream our services every morning and evening through our Facebook page, and we can see that our members are very actively engaged in a very positive manner. And we totally believe, and I'm sure all of you agree with me, that the key right now is to stay very positive. And as Pastor Randy said, soon we all will be going to our normalcy, I hope.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's hope that the numbers keep coming down and that becomes possible soon.
Yeah, whatever is the new normal. We
Yeah.
have to accept that. Yes.
So we are running a little short on time. We had, just excellent conversation, but I want to just ask you each to speak for maybe just about 30 seconds about the what I'm calling the invisible diversity of the Asian and the Asian American community in the Capital District. So I think, it's well known that the Asian American population is growing quite rapidly. But despite that, my sense is often that Asian Americans are not regarded as a strong presence in this area by the mainstream community. And, especially in areas like Greenfield Center in Saratoga County, where I happen to live. So I'm wondering, how has this pandemic, how has this lack of visibility affected your communities during the pandemic? I'm wondering, are you seeing more people turning for help? Have you noticed any kind of racial or ethnic biases surfacing, or any reports of violence? Mani, I was wondering if you could start first, and just, a couple words really briefly.
I don't think that this pandemic has changed any difference from what it was before. And as I've been here 27 years and I've seen dramatic growth in the Asian American community, but we're still not at that point where we can be a force, or we can be to have big enough to be lobby for our needs. We're still a very strong minority in the capital region, unlike if we were in New York City, where we have much more numbers. We're still low in numbers, and they'll have to wait and watch how the census comes through.
Yes, and I think the census numbers will really tell a very interesting story. As a researcher and an Asian American studies scholar, I'm actually looking forward to the numbers and seeing what they say. So, Dr. Sattar, Mr. Sattar, what kind of experience have you seen in terms of this kind of visible invisibility at the mosques? Have you seen increases in biases or any kind of violence, hate crimes surfacing?
Tell you the truth, this illness bring unity, in my opinion, that I see it. I go to different places or different houses. In my opinion, from point of me, this illness brought unity instead of diversity. I am from Afghanistan. I come in here in 1982, 83. I live in this country all my life. Many name was called, never been offended by it. But since this epidemic have arrived, that I go people's houses, good evening, good afternoon, salam alaikum, you tell them those things, they really give you the smile, that look, the appreciations. I believe if this epidemic was not here and I would want to knock up to people's house or knock up their door, says hello, you know, before they say hello to me, they would probably say something else. So now our community, the entire community, ICCD, especially Al Hidayat and As-Salam Masjid, those three communities are very involved. They have classes, actually. They have Imam Ilmi coming up on every night. They have from ICCD, Imam Abdurrahman Yaki coming up every day. From Al Hidayat Center is Imam Sheikh Yasin. Every night they come up live, stream YouTube, talking to their communities and talking to their loved ones, and you know, particularly looking for. But in my opinion, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree with me, but this bring unity instead of diversity.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting perspective, and I think useful to contemplate. Nirja, what are your thoughts?
I actually, same thing here. No such incidents have come to our notice. And I think I agree with everyone that this has brought everybody together, actually. And from our Hindu Temple Society, I mean, we are trying to do the fundraising for the COVID-19, and we plan to disperse these funds through our local food banks so that we can help the needy. So everybody is trying to do their part from what I see. So that's a very good thing, I think.
Okay, excellent. And Pastor Randy, from your perspective, what has resulted from this COVID-19 virus?
I would say ditto, that there is, first of all, I would agree that there's more unity. People, whenever there's hardship, people usually work together, and I see that. That's pretty common. But I also think that the Asian community is a little more stronger than you realize, or you may think, maybe because you're a part of it, that you don't see yourself that way. But just the facts. Many of our families, most of our people are IT or medical, and they're out there. They're all over the place, and there's not issues that way, or very seldom. I haven't heard of anything of late in years, but you know, you can go through Albany. There's whole sections and areas, communities. I mean, up in Latham, several of our families, you go there to visit, and you can go 6-8 houses in a row, brand new homes, you know, $500,000-$600,000 homes that are all Asian American. The whole grouping of it is that. You can go to apartment complexes and see that in Albany, huge 5,000-6,000 people complexes. I think the Asian community, maybe not like in New York City, but I believe they're very much a part. People are of Albany. Now, that's my perspective. You know, and as far as what's going on, I see people loving one another. I don't see any reason why not. Let's be real. We're all in this boat together with this virus running around. Obviously, there are some people that can get sicker than others. So we all have our concerns for our elderly or for those who have preconditions, trying to take care of them, help them. So I think we're in the same boat, you know. Maybe that's what's unified or helped, but I really didn't see much disunity anyways. So I don't know of it.
I personally do see a lot of unities in the Capital District.
Yeah.
I go up there, I knock on people's doors. The way I see it, Pastor, is like if before this epidemic, if I would have walked to somebody's door and knock on their door and wearing a mask and gloves,
Yeah.
what do you honestly think this person would think about me, you know?
That would have been different.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying it brought unities to this epidemic, actually brought unity among the entire capital, and the entire world is actually united those days.
I agree. I think it's the entire world. Everybody is just coming together, which is a very good thing. Everybody has to help each other out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. I do yoga quite avidly. And when my studio closed, the first, I think it was March 15th, Sunday, March 15th, I logged into a Zoom, into a Zoom yoga class. And it wasn't taught by my regular studio, but it was interesting because the instructor said that this experience has suddenly proven what yogis have always said, which is that we are actually completely interdependent on each other. And I hadn't thought about that because I was very fixated on social distancing, the separation that we had to maintain, the retreat into our homes, gathering up groceries and I guess toilet paper in the early days particularly. And so when he said that, I thought it's so interesting. We actually all are interdependent because we all are dependent on each other to stay away from each other and in some way to keep us safe. But in some way, we're also dependent on each other to provide care, to bring food. I mean, I'm a farmer. I have food every three times a week now at farmers markets for people. And so it's an interesting time that we're in. So I think we are just about out of time. I thought maybe I would just pop around very quickly and ask if anybody else would like to contribute a parting thought before I close out the show for the evening.
Well, no, go ahead, please.
No, please go ahead.
I just wanted to add that, I mean, I know we have very short time and I couldn't add what other wonderful things our community is doing. I actually wanted to thank all our volunteers. We are really, really fortunate to have a lot of dedicated volunteers through whom we are able to do various activities through digital media, as you said. I mean, that's the new thing now. So we do our yoga and health seminars that is getting held regularly through Zoom. And we also do Bal Vihar, which is basically designed for our children. It's like Sunday school, which is basically value-based education. And we are very proud that it's 100% participation in that. I mean, that's great thing that the kids are engaged too. And to support our seniors, we do have the Silver Lining group who are ready to deliver their groceries or medicines or anything that's needed in the community to anyone, So I think because of this dedicated and wonderful volunteers, we are able to reach out to so many more. And I would like to thank everybody, every community for that matter. I mean, everyone, we're all together. Yes.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely a conversation for another show.
Absolutely.
I would like to bring something to all of your attention. Anyone that needs my help, days and night, I'm available for you guys. Our community is available for you guys. We have a few websites that you can go to if some people has a need. It's mcc.org. You can go to, that's one site. Another site is alhidayahcenter.org. The another one is masjidi-assalam.org. So if you go to any of them websites and you have some need, you need some food, some groceries, anything you want, just go to that website. You will actually find my name on those websites too. And if you want to contact me directly, please do so. Contact me directly through my phone. I'd be more than happy to bring it to you because this what Muslims supposed to do, especially at this month of Ramadan, giving. I want to tell Dr. Singh, also my neighbors in Afghanistan, the entire village in Afghanistan, in Helmand province was Sikhs. So I grew up around Sikh people.
Excellent. Pastor Randy or Dr. Gujral, any closing thoughts?
It's a privilege to be with you. And I think that there are everybody seems to be in the similar thought of trying to help others, and that's a good thing. You talk about things that you miss. We had started, I don't know, about a year ago, a dinner after the afternoon service, and I miss goat curry. I'll settle for chicken curry, but I just miss, that's I'm joking, but I'm serious too. I miss that time of fellowship. I miss being with the people. Sunday mornings is probably one of the harder times for me and for
I will
many.
bring you to the mosque and make sure you have nice goat curry and chicken curry both. After the pandemic is over.
Okay.
I actually
Pastor Randy, from
goat-
from my side, I own the Indian restaurant Maharaja. You go there, and the goat curry is on me.
No, if you cater, you must have been to our place at one time or another, because all kinds of meals are catered in there. And I'm always trying to keep track of the goat curry.
But I absolutely hear you, Pastor Randy. I mean, we do miss, going to the, to the places where it's more important, more than the food. I think the people around you and the talks and everything. Yeah, that was just a beautiful thing. And I hope, let's all hope that we can go back to our, whatever is our new normal very soon.
Well, when we were doing iftar before, we have like almost 400, 500 people in the mosque. I was the coordinator. I'm the one in charge of, bringing the food. So those days will come, but I just want to bring something else to your attention. This Sunday on Central Avenue, 280 Central Avenue, ICNA is coming into Albany. So you can have anyone that hears me on Facebook, please come down to Central Avenue, 280 Central Avenue in Albany, New York. We have ICNA, we have their food, we have some good stuff for all the Capital District people.
Awesome. Wonderful. So just in closing, I'd also like to note that today is the National Day of Prayer, and it's kind of an opportunity perhaps to reflect on many of the wonderful things that our guests on the show have said tonight, and to think about, what does prayer mean for each of us in different ways, but maybe in united ways as well. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us this evening for what has been our 4th Asian American Herald show. I am Hamani Gupta Carlson, and our guests have been Mr. Abdul Sattar, Nirja Aliena, Mani Gujral, and Pastor Randy Anson, and Gayan Singh. So the Asian American Herald is a Facebook-based news media outlet dedicated to discussing topics and building community among Asian Americans in the Capital Region. Please send us your story ideas. And I think goat curry is on the list for one of our future topics. But please send us your story ideas and look for a recording of this show on our Facebook page. So have a good evening, and thank you again.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
God bless.